Lion Hearted Podcast.
What up? What up? You are now tuned into the Lionhearted Podcast where the feelings reside and only the strong survive. I'm your boy Maine, so let's get into it. Yep. All right. See, so what I'm going to do for this episode is it's a little bit different. So for my audio listeners, welcome back. For my new listeners on audio, welcome. But this is actually going to be my first visual episode on YouTube. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain a little bit about myself and a little bit about the channel and what we plan to bring to the table. So like I said, if you a day one listener through the audio, welcome back. Bear with me. You already know who I am. You already know part of my story. For anyone that's new, there's three seasons of pure audio to catch up on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and now we on YouTube. So yeah, to tell a little bit about myself, I'm your boy Maine, and this actually started out, it was going to be just a pure sports podcast, sports takes, football, basketball, baseball, and whatever else comes to the table. But during my first season, you know those dog days of sports where there's like downtime in between. You got the NFL, you got the Super Bowl for the NFL in February, then you got the NBA Finals, of course, in June. And then baseball really don't get cracking till like late August, around this year, late August, early September into October for the playoffs. And so I was like, man, I took a little bit of break, of course, between seasons, but I'm like, there's much more that I can talk about, And then so I just started like kind of telling who I am as a person and my life story and my viewpoint on things and basically how I look at things. I'm going to give y'all a prime example. Like, I'm the type of person like this. We all know the story of Humpty Dumpty who sat on the wall, who had a great fall, right? But his outer structure was already fragile. So where was his people when he was sitting on that wall when the risk of him falling was already greatly high? Nobody came to tell him like, yo, bro, get off that wall. Because if you fall, it's going to be all bad for you. That's what this channel is about, other than sports. I'm that person, like, I'm a glass half full type person, not empty. I'm all about progressing forward. Our past is our past. You can embrace your past, but it's always more beneficial to look forward. So think of it like this. Nobody came to his rescue to tell him, or gave him the advice, rather, I should say, to get off that wall before he fell down. But once he fell down, everybody came around, everybody surrounded him, and everybody tried to put Humpty Dumpty back together. Nobody cared that Humpty Dumpty was sitting on the wall when he was a full person. Nobody gave him advice until he fell. Then it became the thing to do. Let's see if we can put him back together again. And I say that to say that whole thing could have been avoided if somebody would have paid attention to Humpty well before. But you got to think about it. In this life, it equates it to life very well. The healed person don't get a lot of attention. The healed person don't get recognized. The person that's actually on a positive journey, they get ignored. So what people tend to do is have a more, woe is me type mindset. They like to sit up and complain. Main reason being, and it's not their fault, it's a human nature, it gets more attention. And with all the things going on, attention, is the biggest cancer of them all a lot of the time. So yeah, that's basically what you're gonna get from this channel is some uplifting, some hot sports takes. NFL right around the corner. I can't wait for that. Like I said, welcome to the new eyes on the channel. Welcome to the new ears on the channel. If you've been down with me since day one, you already know how I feel. I appreciate y'all always. Even if we always look at any type of support as always monetary, but that's not always the case. It could be a conversation. It could be advice, because anything that I do, I always run it by my inner circle. It's not just me. I'm the person you see. I'm the voice you hear. But a lot of the stories I'm going to tell that you're going to hear me tell, they're my experience as well. But my inner circle, they trust me to tell the stories that we kind of went through, how we navigated, the life we lived. And my goal has always been to I want to reach. Sports is subjective. That's opinions and everything. Like you can feel how you want to feel. Everybody looks at the game different. But when it comes to this life game, it's about helping out the next person. Because it might be people that might listen to me and it might inspire them to speak. And that's the type of thing that I want to do. I didn't want to just be a sports podcast because it's like everybody got that. You know what I mean? I can do that like no other, but I can do so much more. And I know that just because of my life story. Like I said, go catch up. And I'm going to talk about it more and more here visually, but I want y'all to go catch up and listen. If you haven't, like I said, Spotify, Apple, Pandora, Lionhearted Podcast, by Main, tap in. And I'm also, with this updated system I got, I plan on doing a lot more interviews. I have my season 2 of the Lionhearted Podcast. It starts out me doing, I think the first 5 episodes are me doing interviews, 5-6 episodes, me doing interviews with people. One of my the top rated episode, I should say, is Magnetic Energy with my girl Tangi. We did a dope interview. That's very uplifting. Go check it out if you if that may interest you. Check it out, see what it's about. And even if you don't feel that this podcast is for you, share it, like it, share it, subscribe. If you can't get nothing from it, maybe somebody can. And like I said, it'll make it. I plan on giving you that little push, that edge that you may need just to get up in the morning, just to get through the day, because that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? It's been times where I had to find that within myself, and as good as some of us are at it, sometimes it gets tough. So we always can use a little boost from listening to somebody's music or even a podcast or interview. Of course, my biggest influence is my parents, obviously, but then outside of my family, Kobe Bryant. I'm a big Kobe Bryant fan, as y'all gonna hear, like probably to the point where y'all don't want to hear it no more, but I'm a big Kobe Bryant fan just of his game. That's why I fell in love with the game of basketball. I'm a sports enthusiast, period, but I'm a basketball head. I'm a basketball nut. For real, for real. That's the game I fell in love with. That's the game I played, all that. And it all was during the Kobe era, from the Froby era to the old school Kobe to the girl dad Kobe, everything, you know what I'm saying? His whole story, the downfall of Kobe, excuse me. And as well as his the uplifting of Kobe. Everybody loves Kobe now, but I feel like I was riding with Kobe through the good, the bad, the ugly. So yeah. And then as well, especially since I've been doing the podcast for real, and just being more business minded. Nipsey Hussle, of course. Rest in peace to Nip. You know what I mean? That's a big influence for me as well. And then I was blessed enough to kind of grow up in that culture. You know what I'm saying? I know it was just his birthday, getting a little choked up, but that's how inspirational he was, and he is still to this day. And he said it Tupac inspired him. Excuse me. Tupac inspired him, and I feel like he inspired me. So it's like Pac said, I may not be part of the change, but I'm gonna spark the brain that's gonna start the change, and then vice versa with Nip. Like, you know what I mean? And like I said, I have in total just audio, just pure audio. I have, I think, 86 episodes in total. About 6 or 7 foreign countries I have listened to my product. And yeah, so I just want y'all to tap in. This is gonna be like a little short little interview I wanted to do. I mean, a little episode, excuse me, I wanted to do for y'all to get that visual out there, to start getting my face out there, to match up the visual with the voice that you hear. You know, but I'm your boy Maine. This the Lionhearted Podcast. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, tell everybody, and I'm gonna just end it like this. And once you listen to the audio, you're gonna know. Just because their vision is blurry, that doesn't diminish your greatness. Until next time, stay Lionhearted.